I think we're live now. So welcome to, I don't know what week we're on, but we're Midsummer, Know It and Grow It. And we have been, we started out early in the spring and now we're back together for the tail end of the summer, still trying to deliver, you know, all of our knowledge, combined knowledge of gardening in the city of Newark. And I am Sarah O'Leary. I'm the Director of Education at Greater Newark Conservancy. I'm here with Charmaine LaFortune from the Giving 1/10 Community Garden and Kevin Porter from Rabbit Hole Farm. And we are going to be presenting to you all kinds of stuff about our knowledge about growing in the city, especially growing edible foods. And we are especially trying to convey information to the participants in the hashtag Everyone Gets a Garden program, which is a program for residents in the Fairmont Heights neighborhood of Newark. We had a great event this past Saturday where we gave out garden kits to about a dozen Newark residents to plant their own gardens, either at home or in community gardens. So this program is being sponsored by a bunch of great Newark organizations and the Nature Conservancy. And so we're trying to convey some special information about the materials and the special supplies that we've given out with that program. Charmaine is going to talk about some of that today. And we have been trying all summer to be out in our garden spaces. I know Kevin and Akoth were bravely doing that at the beginning of the summer a few times. And Charmaine has been trying to get out to her garden, the Giving 1/10 garden, since the beginning. So she's trying it tonight. And right now it looks good. I know she's getting attacked by mosquitoes, but we're gonna let her start, I think, given that we'll see how long she's able to keep broadcasting from the garden. I know she's just getting set up. But Charmaine was going to show us that she's been using some of the materials that we gave out as part of these garden kits. And I have to tell you, Charmaine, I just set up some grow bags today. So I want to hear what your experience has been and see if you can show us a little bit about what you've figured out about using these materials.
Can you hear me? Because the audio is going in and out.
Yeah.
So based on the material that I've received, the experience has been quite positive because we have been able to grow in the bags. The only issues that we have is, like I mentioned before, growing in the bags, the soil tends to dry out more. And also because the bags are black, I realize the mosquitoes love to go hiding there. So that's one of the challenges we have. The only challenge that I foresee. So I don't know if we could show you. Okay, hold on. Oh, he's here.
That's okay, Charmaine. Take your time getting set up. I know it's a little bit daunting using the phone and the headphones outdoors, because you don't want to ruin your phone in the process.
Actually, this is a tablet I have.
Okay, well, you don't want to ruin your tablet either.
Let's have it off, like, while I get set up, because my
Sure, we'll give you a minute.
My fingers are not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
So, well, what I want to say just real quick, and then I'll turn it over to you, Kevin. The kit that we were giving out, you get 5 of these grow bags, and then bags of an organic soil mix. And I discovered when I was filling bags today that it's really heavily organic. Yeah, Charmaine is going to show. It's like a lot of like shredded bark and leaves, I think, in these. And I am going to be really curious to see how they do for growing stuff, because I've had the experience of trying to grow in soils that are a little too heavily compost rich, that it's a bit much for, especially for establishing new plants. But I was also had a great time today because I got to visit Rabbit Hole Farm for my first time in probably about a year. So Charmaine, are you ready to go, or should we wait, give you a minute?
I need some. I need some more time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, my video is, when I stand up, the video is buffering. So
that's okay. Yeah, we'll give you a minute. So Kevin,
I'm gonna get my garden partner to hold
to be your camera person. So Kevin, it was really cool to visit Rabbit Hole today and see like a space that is, well, I won't say full of people, but you know, like relatively lively, especially in the pandemic, right? You're hosting events and people at Rabbit Hole Farm. Do you want to talk for a minute about what you got going on there?
Yeah, well, today it seemed like in every little nook there was something going on. Well, today I was in, well, let me go back to our Chicago trip or our South Dakota trip. Okay, a car left before us for South Dakota, and she stopped in Chicago. And when we got back home, she says, Kevin, could you make me a bookshelf? And I want you to make yourself a bookshelf. I said, for what? What do you want? She says, when I was in Chicago, they had these bookshelves in different communities that had books on them, and people could just go take the book and return it or bring another book there and leave it off. And she thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I said, that sounds pretty cool, but I mean to build a bookshelf. And then I started thinking, it dawned on me when I went around to Avon Avenue School, they had a table with books on it. I said, there you go. That's a lot easier, at least for now, to see how this thing works. So I got a table and I put a couple of books on them. And actually, I put a little placard that said Freegan Market. And then I put out some a car club that I had with a key in it that we just don't use. I put out some nice wooden boxes that people could put things in them. Several books, and people stopped by and they took some of the books. They took some of the other items that we had out there on the table, which is good. And somebody says, oh, how does this work? I said, well, if you have something that's light, a couple of books, you can bring and set your books out here, you know, but it's not like a garbage dump that dumps stuff that you don't want. It's stuff that people you figure would need, and stuff that you actually value, that you say, I'm not using it, but I value it. Maybe it'll help somebody else or bring somebody else some pleasure. You can drop off there, and people come and they look, and then they take it. So that's going on in the front.
I saw that today. That's so great.
Yeah. So in the back, we had a class going on the 36 Rose Terrace side. There was how to make natural dyes out of different herbs, like out of different things, plants. And it was how to make dye out of turmeric, how to make dye out of marigold flowers. And so there was a class going on there. And then we also had a surprise, which was a double surprise. There was a surprise party for Shannon from the Greater Newark Conservancy. It was a surprise to me to see what are these people doing here. And then they said, hey, we came to surprise Shannon. I said, oh, okay. So I gave them a spot in the back that they could sit at under a canopy. And then Shannon arrived and it was a surprise there. And then so that rolled over into lunch, which I missed lunch because I had to go. But it was supplied by a vegan restaurant in Newark on South Orange Avenue, you know. And I had it just a little while ago, and that was excellent. But yeah, the garden lately, at least from Monday to Thursday, it's pretty busy, and it can be like that. And we could range from amount of people from, I say, 5 or 6 up to 10 to 12 people. So it's never crowded. There's always room for social distancing. People wear masks, so it's a nice environment to learn.
It's a great thing. I put, and I think Amanda will try and put up on Facebook a little thing. Like, I've heard that idea that you're talking about called the Little Free Library. My friend actually put one up at her house around the block from me. And there's a website where I think they show you like how to make like a little free library. But I think your table idea is really good too. As a low barrier, I've got some good stuff. Let me put it out here. Yeah. I know a place that I really like in Newark, the Gallery of Faro, they have like a free lending library where they have a lot of, I don't think they're open right now, but they have books to both borrow and to take home that are all kinds of books about politics, social movements, art, all kinds of stuff. And that's a great thing. That people are able to share resources that way. Mm-hmm. Charmaine, should we come to you?
Yes, I was thinking that probably we should let my garden partner Carol speak about the grow bags before we actually show the grow bags.
That would be terrific. Yeah.
So I don't know how the audio. Are you still hearing us clearly?
Are you just clearly? Fine? Yeah.
An odd camera person.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Carol.
Are you hearing her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi.
And we've only seen her at the photograph before.
It was so good. It's nice meeting you. And I enjoy looking at the shows, every week. Now, I am not an expert. I'm just trying something, So the bags, what I did, I put the material around a gallon bottle,
What type of material we use?
Landscaper
fabric.
Landscaper fabric, but this is the thin one. It should be thicker, but this is just to show, what you can do if you don't have the thick material. So I put the material around a gallon bottle and then I cut it. And what I did, I sewed the two sides, and then since this was already put together, I made a triangle about 2 inches, since this is a small bag. So what you have to do, you measure from the tip here to here, which is 2 inches. You make a line. So you sew along here on both sides. And then you cut it off. Above the stitch, you cut the excess. Turn it around. And then you won't see the effect because I didn't sew it. But then you will have the flat area where it can sit, without toppling over. I hope everybody understood that.
And this is a cheaper form of creating a grow bag. And actually, it's really inexpensive, because if you use the material, the landscaping material, knowing that it's light, you could actually double it up. And most landscaping materials, they last about a year. So it's pretty okay using this material. versus the other bags that are really heavy duty that you get from Amazon or any other garden supply store out to the conservancy.
I forgot to mention one thing. When you're sewing the bags, make sure and use the thread, the outside thread, because if you use a normal thread, it can wear off easily, you know, with the weather.
Yeah.
So you get the thread for the outside, which will last longer.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Right. You don't want to use like a cotton thread because that's just going to rot probably pretty quickly.
Yes.
Or if you do use cotton thread, you could probably do multiple stitches so it lasts longer.
Yeah. But I bet something, if you use like button thread, that's very heavy
Yes,
duty.
it's heavy duty.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So cool.
So how do you buy your landscaping fabric? Do you get it by the yards, or do they sell it like that? Or?
No, both. By Home Depot, usually, well, 1 year Walmart was really selling a lot of landscaping at the end of the season. They don't do that anymore. They were trying to get things off of the shelf, and they were like selling it for 50 cents a roll. So I stocked it up. Oh, Home Depot will have landscaping fabric. So,
yeah,
but it's inexpensive. You could get a roll for like $5, and you can make so many bags.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's what I was
And you can actually
Make
the bag
sizes.
different sizes, however large you want it. That's the good thing about, you know, having the fabric. You could cut the size by the gallon.
60 inches wide.
Yeah, it's about 60 inches wide. And it goes by, I think, 100 feet, 50 feet, some 250. So it varies. And the heavier the fabric, the more. I think Home Depot, they probably run about $20 for a roll, which is nothing, basically. Especially
and you'll make a lot of
if the roll is like a, yeah. No. I think the most expensive thing might be the thread. You could get a really good quality thread. But I mean, they sell the spools, the larger spools, you know, is a better purchase than buying the, you know, the small spools that they have.
right.
So you get that by Walmart also.
One thing I wanted to say though, is that they sell like landscape fabric, and sometimes it's just like a perforated plastic. And what you're using is actually more like woven fabric. I think, you know, sometimes you
Yes.
look carefully at what the material looks like.
Yes.
Hey,
so for my demo.
Oh, sorry. Really quick, I
Go
just
ahead.
want to mention, since we were talking about the little library, Sabrina, who has been on a bunch of these Know It and Grow It's, actually offered, this is really cool. I think it's available for people who are on Facebook. She mentioned that if people are interested in creating a little library, she suggested to contact a Newark Girl Scout troop, and that they might want to do the build a bookshelf as a project, because they can earn a bronze, silver, or gold award for creating that. So if you have a space where people come by, like one of these gardens, but you want to offer that, you could reach out and try and find a Girl Scout troop in your area that might want to create that as a project to contribute to the space. That's a cool idea.
That is. Okay.
Okay, back to you, Charmaine. You were going to show us some more.
Yes. Let me stand up. You can see how fat I am. I have COVID weight. Hey guys. So first of all, I don't do anything without gloves. And this is our grow bag. Go back a bit. Do you see?
Yeah.
This is a grow bag that already has the soil in it. So this soil is not the soil that the we got was distributable with the soil that I had here that I already amended with the peat moss and also with some other topsoil.
Okay.
And basically you fold the bag like quarter of the bag, which I usually do. And I move the soil around to the sides so you can make like a hole within the bag. I don't know if you could see the hole. Make at least a 2-inch or 3-inch hole in the bag so that when you put the seedling or the plant in the bag, that the roots are covered. So we have one of our tomato plants that was self-seeded in the garden, many of those. And usually I put it to the center of the bag, and then I will just push the soil around the bottom of the roots of the plant. If it's more soil to the bag, I will actually keep adding more plants depending if you want to do combination planting. You'll add a basil or probably a pepper plant. But since this pot is really small, this grow bag, and the tomato most likely will be one in these that we harvest. You should only plant one plant in this bag over time.
Right.
So that's basically it. I mean, and then you will water the plant if the soil is dry. Usually the soil is much drier than this. And just set it aside and watch it grow. I tend to not add fertilizer when I just plant the plant because sometimes it goes into shock. So about a week later, you'll add some compost material or some organic fertilizer like blood meal. And that's basically it for planting grow bags. It's quite simple. And the good thing about it, if you have a veranda, you could put, I usually buy, those boot trays. I have a lot of those. So I use that as saucers on my on my porch or on my deck because my husband doesn't like to see all the plants that I have growing everywhere. You can relate.
I have to tell you,
So
as
use the boot trays.
yes, and as an alternative to the boot tray, a really cheap one is like I got some from IKEA that are for the dog dish. Like if you put your dog dish on, it's just a tray, and it does the same purpose. You can protect your.
Sorry, you were getting competition with a car passing by.
Sorry, I was saying that you can use the kind of trays that they have for putting your dog dish on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
even cheaper maybe than the boot tray.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Actually, I got mine from Canada. I did the dollar store in Canada is really cheap. That's why I go and get my supplies every year and drive back home. I go up in the spring, buy all my stuff from the dollar store, and then bring it back to the States because the dollar store there is phenomenal. I get all the twist ties, all the spring, all the trays. Everything is cheaper. And they have a wider variety. So it's really great.
Can you hang the grow bag?
Charmaine, did
you can actually. You could probably, because this material is thicker.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can switch this video. Sorry. Since the material is really thick,
yeah,
you could probably cut a hole within the bag and attach strings there, and you could hang it up. It's really thick. The ones that we make, you might need to double up on the fabric on it. You see, we're having the mosquito experience. Carol is scratching. Yeah, but these have handles also.
Yeah.
What I know my aunt did in Canada one year, she used the same landscaping fabric and she made holes in them and she made it upside down and she planted her tomatoes upside down instead. So she made a small hole at the bottom of the bag where Carol was showing you don't need to stitch. Add the soil, push put the tomatoes in first, the roots in, then add the soil from the top, and then just have it like an upside down tomato, how they were growing it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And then
it grows fine.
You could put your basil plants on top then and have your basil plants growing up.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
That is a great idea. We should try that next year.
I want to try that.
So I want to just, I don't know. This is our space. I don't know how much more
I see
time Wi-Fi will be cooperating.
I see your castor bean
We have lots
plants.
of plants. Yes, we have two. Actually, we have 3 big ones. We have them going around the border. Kevin was my inspiration to have this. I went by his garden last year and I was like, I need to have that here.
Yeah.
So this is all the perennials that we have growing. And the morning is actually beautiful because all the bees and all the butterflies come out. And
is that, what are those other, hold on, Charmaine, what is that other structure? Is that the yellow thing that you're showing right there?
So these are chairs that one of my neighbors, she inherited it from a guy who came back from mission on the field. He went to another country and work, and actually they welded it. And because they he gets to bring all his furniture and everything back, this was one of it, and she didn't want it anymore. So we actually painted it different colors. So we have this one here, the blue, the red, and the green. So it's all handmade. And we had cushions that were painted in African print.
Those are so
it was quite interesting.
Yeah. It's like
I know.
Sculptural and
unusual. And it's quite heavy. Yes. So this area is where we're planning to put the pergola. Hopefully before the end of the summer. And this is our tomato plant. And we need to stick it up some more. We were so happy it rained last night.
That looks like it's probably almost 5 feet tall. Am I right?
Yes, yes, it is. And our kale, the curly kale, I don't know how far I can go. And more kale we have. This is the Chinese broccoli, and we have some what do you call that? Ground cherries, but the bigger, the tomatillos. The larger tomatoes that has a wrap over it. How do you say that, Kevin? Thank you. Yeah, and I have a banana tree behind it that actually, this is my baby. I take it in the house every year. And this year I decided to bring it out to the garden, and it sprouted like 5 new shoots. So I need to get a bigger pot for this banana tree out here. But it's supposed to stay outside, but I'm always fearful that it's gonna die. So I was bring it back to my basement.
You think?
So it's overgrown. All this stuff, I think.
Yeah, do you think that banana could be hardy? Like you think it might?
It is hardy. The guy who got it from me actually went and got it for me because he said, I saw it in his yard at one of the parties we went to in Long Island. And he went searching all over Long Island to find a plant.
And it will produce a banana?
I think because I've kept it inside for the last 2 years, it hasn't. But hopefully, since it's been out, and I'm going to try to see where I can put it in the ground, that it could stay outside for the winter. Probably in the spring, it might start shooting, bananas out.
Wow.
And all the tomatoes behind here is cell-seeded, and I need to get rid of it. So anybody wants cherry tomato plants, you could gladly come and get some because they need to go. It's too many.
Hey, I may stop by and get some just to set on the table.
Yeah. Right. On your friggin' table. Exactly.
Yeah, I'll set them on the table and see how they do. We have a couple of small pots, so I'll come by. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how far the Wi-Fi. This is, the edge.
It
This
looks
is another herb bed that I'm trying. We have sage in here, tarragon, the celery, ground cherries, and we have some onions growing here also. But one of our partners thought it was chives, and she cut the tips off. So we're looking to see what's gonna happen.
but
And this is Spanish oregano. We could find Trinidad, but it's a herb that we eat in all our food.
Charmaine,
And these are some of the bags that I did before. These are the seedlings that we got from the conservancy, actually.
I recognize some of those plants. I see the
We love these, and this
pepper.
this is the bitter melon.
Oh my goodness.
And I think I also got these sweet peppers from the conservancy also. Our sunflowers. And this is what I harvested. I'm not too sure about the Wi-Fi. This is what I harvested today. The bitter melon from this vine. And more tomatoes. We have eggplant, Swiss chard. What is leeks, beets behind this bed. We have more long beans. We have red. We have one that is we harvest one that was 24 inches. 29. Correct. Carol just correct.
Actually,
To be 29 inches.
not that it's counting.
More cucumbers, more peppers. What else we have? The mosquitoes are really killing us. This is our compost bin. And these are all our water.
We have the same one.
We have,
Evan, yeah, I just saw the same composter at your place. Maybe guys have the same friend.
Yeah.
Yep. This is what I did to the cucumbers. Remember I said last week that I used the compost tea and I killed the bed, almost killed the bed. This is what it looks like. It used to look like that bed over there. It looks like this now. Oh, Carol is showing you one of our snakes.
This is about 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we just
and the food is the food. The taste, the texture, the longevity of the produce once you harvest it, it's absolutely amazing.
Charmaine, you're starting to break up a little bit now. So I'm gonna jump in over you, I think. We're seeing your eggplant though. So Kevin, I'm trying to grab your thing. So it was that's pretty cool to see.
Oh, I just want to show you this cucumber that we have.
Let's see. I don't know if your video is working now, Charmaine.
I know it's frozen because I moved away from the Wi-Fi connection. Is it better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved away when I was walking down, so I realized the Wi-Fi is stronger to the front of the house, of my neighbor's house. So we still have a lot of produce. We give away mostly everything in our garden. So if anybody wants produce, they're welcome to come by.
Can you tell us again what your open hours are at the garden?
Hold on. So I will say in the afternoon after 5. That's the best time. Most evenings we're here. If it rains, we're not here. most evenings we're here after 5. And if they want to come by, they could just send me a message on WhatsApp because I live across the street. So it's really convenient to come and open up. And I could tell them, you know, if we have stuff for harvest, we have kale and some tomatoes, but you know, like the bitter melon, we don't harvest it every day. The cucumbers, we have harvested every other day. So I can let them know what exactly we're harvesting for the day, and they're welcome to come by.
That's great. Well, I'm putting in Facebook, I was just saying that after 5 people can stop by the Giving 1/10 garden, community garden. If you want to share on Facebook, you can give it to me, Charmin, and I can put your contact information on there. So people can find you. And I know they can find you.
I would love to.
On Instagram and on Facebook for the Giving 1/10 community garden.
Yes.
Yep. I think that looks like an amazing garden for August, because I got to tell you, from me at home, from about August, the second week of August, it's just downhill from there. I lose steam. I get tired of the mosquitoes, and I'm just tired. And I kind of like, I hope to still harvest stuff, but I'm not putting quite as much energy into it. So
yeah, I feel the same way now. I mean, last week was really hectic with work, but I mean, the rain fell this morning, and I think this is why all the mosquitoes came out, but it's never like this quantity. It's a lot this afternoon. We have the repellent going, but you know, what we decided this afternoon is that we need a fire pot. So we could start it early to smoke out the space. So by the time we get in here, it will be okay.
Yeah.
Because the shrub is so thick now. That's also accounting for all the mosquitoes because they have a place to hide.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
By the time you get here at 5, anybody comes over, you just come prepared with. We like people to come with face coverings. Make sure you have a whole shoes on your foot because it's wood chips and we don't want anybody to get hurt. Walk with your own bag. That will be quite helpful. And just come and enjoy the space. We're trying to do an event every Friday evening. Like last week, Friday, we had roast corn and dominoes, if that makes sense. So, you know, and then we had a volunteer for another project that we're doing to repurpose a park, to refinish the park. And Saturday, we had about 9 volunteers come help us move wood chips. So we have only probably an hour more to finish it. I have to install one more swing. Plus I need to cover part of a space with cardboard so that we can cover it with wood chips. But that project should be finished soon and we should have more time to ourselves. And we, and the Giving 1/10 also, you know, we started about 2 months ago feeding a shelter in our street. Well, on 17th Street, there's a shelter once a month with produce, some of the produce we have from here and also food that we prepare. And we try to give them a balanced meal. And this is something that, you know, we're trying to continue until the end of the year. So, which is a great initiative because, you know, COVID has really made a lot of people get displaced, unemployed. And even though I work constantly, it's a challenge for a lot of people. There are a lot of people going to the, you know, healthy food and access to food. So, you know, we're trying to reach everyone in this community. It's important to us that we give back.
Really, really, really inspiring and hopeful and terrific to hear about all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, even if it wasn't just a beautiful place, the fact that you're doing all those activities and things for the community is amazing. And I'm going to have to hear more about your project at the park and it sounds like your playground initiative, because for the Fairmont Heights neighborhood, I know that there is a site in that neighborhood that's a Kaboom Park, which is like a playground, a community built playground, and it needs some love. And I'd love to hear about your experience. Another time we'll have to focus on that, because there's a lot of need for kind of people to lend their skills, talent, and just effort to improve some of the community spaces, because they're just not gonna, nobody's gifting us with anything. We gotta kind of do it for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this project was in conjunction with the city of Newark. Last year we won the Love Your Block grant, but we weren't able to complete the project last year. So this year we're trying to finalize the project. So it's a partnership between the city of Newark and the sustainability department. So
it's excellent.
It's been a blessing. Yeah.
So good to hear about. So, hey, Kevin, I want to hear from you. What's growing good at Rabbit Hole Farm right now? I know that we talked last week about herbs and stuff that you're harvesting and that you've got in the cooperative market, but what else do you want to tell us about?
A bitter melon coming up, and that's what I know that's good and that we really like to see grow. We're having bitter melon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, sweetie, anything else besides the bitter melon that's coming up that's good?
Yes.
Besides, we're mainly herbs, but
we don't really grow, we grow food just for us to eat. So we have enough kale right now. We have bitter melon, and we're waiting for the locust squash. That is one of the last thing that come up. So the plant is big and I see a lot of flowers. So I'm assuming like in a few more weeks we're gonna have plenty of locust squash.
And okra. Okra.
We have some okra. And I think food was in two colors.
Okay.
Two colors, and then in beets. We have beets.
Beets. We kind of not too in a hurry to eat them because they're good at the end of the season and they hold a lot winter.
Well, I would use herb. If you ask herb, then we can talk.
Herbs all over the place.
Right, I know. I got to see all of your beautiful herbs because I got to deliver some of them to somebody last week.
And people that come by the Freegan market table, they can come in and take a tour. We do have basil, plenty of basil. Basil is looking very good, and not only the sweet basil, we have the holy basil, or Tulsi, or Rama holy basil, which is good and probably more medicinal, has more benefits than the regular sweet basil. But sweet basil is good too. It tastes good. But, and lots of teas, endless, just endless.
Endless.
I saw the marigold flowers, and today we had a class on making dyes. And one of the plants that they were planning on using was marigold.
They were.
I
had to tell them, no, with marigold.
Yeah, they were making dyes with marigold, turmeric, and what else? What else were they using?
Red cabbage.
Red cabbage.
Red cabbage, yeah.
So that was a fun class. That was good.
Yeah, that's cool. So that was happening at Rabbit Hole Farm today.
Yeah, today. Anything else coming up? We're gonna do more carving.
September. Actually, September, and starting every Saturday in September. We're gonna start doing. We're gonna start 9:30 in the morning with a yoga class, going from 9:30 to 10:15. Then we're gonna have a little break, and then we're gonna do a class, and it's basically medicine making that we're gonna try to do. So we're gonna start showing people what are the different herbs that we have, and then every Saturday we're gonna do a different way of making medicine with it.
And that's throughout the month of September.
Yes, and maybe 1 or 2 Saturdays in October, depending how we feel, how the weather. So, but definitely September.
Do people need to sign up for that in advance?
Yes, gonna require that because we want to be able to provide some of the material supply, and then also we're gonna break it with lunch. So we need to know more or less how many people are attending so we can provide all that.
Can people sign up through the Rabbit Hole Facebook page? How can they sign up?
So right now we're working on the flyer, and the person that's helping me, she mentioned that she may just come out with a page that people can register.
Okay, so yes, you share that with us for next week so that we can put it up. I wanted to say too, since you were mentioning September, and I realize it's coming up fast, and I saw Tobias at Rabbit Hole Farm today, and I know that the I guess it's Newark Community Food Systems is going to be doing their garden tour in September.
Yes.
Do you guys, do you know the dates for that, Kevin? Can we mention that?
No, we don't know the
Don't.
It's at the beginning of September. If
I do. No, it's in the middle of September. It's actually the third week in September.
Oh, the third week in September.
And Giving One is going to be part of that. Yeah. Let me get the dates off my phone, actually.
Okay, so Charmaine's gonna look it up. You're sort of
I'll tell you exactly. I think it's.
Charmaine, if you could type it because your audio is kind of messed up right now. But I'm sure that.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I'm sure at Rabbit Hole you guys are going to be hosting some things for the tour of Newark Gardens in September. And that's great to hear that Charmaine is probably also going to do some activity. And I think we will have our farm open for some activities during that week. We just started planning that right now.
And the Hawthorne Farm. That's
at Hawthorne Farm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
how about Harriet Tubman? Any of the schools participating?
I know. Well, I would like to, and there are. I can tell you, Kevin. I'm glad you're bringing that up because in Washington D.C. they do a whole week of school garden. You know, like a school garden week where people can come out to school gardens and see what's going on in them. And I have always wanted to do that. We haven't planned it before. So we have invited people to come out to the Harriet Tubman Garden during that tour of school, tour of Newark Gardens before. And hopefully we'll get to do something. I can tell you that because we know that school is going to be remote for the next until November, we're really trying to plan activities for families to come out to the school gardens because most of them are off of school grounds. And we have, you know, outdoor, just like you at Rabbit Hole Farm and Charmaine at Giving 1/10, that we have outdoor spaces that people can come and gather and, you know, learn and do something, do an, you know, a real activity together. We want to try and offer more of that, especially since, you know, you cannot live online. That's not a full life. It's not healthy for children or any other people. So let's see. Okay, Charmaine has got it here. You're right. So from September 13th to September 19th, there's going to be the Newark Garden Tour. We will put out more information about, there is every day of that period. There'll be activities at different Newark community gardens. And when that information is all put together, we will definitely publicize it. I wanted to say, Charmaine, I saw you answered this question, but since other people might want to know, they want to know how you use tarragon.
Oh yeah, I put it in meat. I don't eat meat, but I season the meat for my husband. I use all herbs to season food. It just makes a different flavor.
Yeah.
It makes everything taste good to me. Like I showed you the tarragon, the sage. Everything makes food taste better. I mean, instead of using the shake seasoning with all that salt and MSG that they add in it, right. I just use all the green herbs and grind it together and add it to my food every time we cook. It's simple, I know. That's for me.
And I was saying last time, I want to start preparing like the sofrito and stuff that people were talking about. Because yeah, you definitely can cut down on salt when you're using herbs. to flavor things more.
Yes.
And the herbs are also there,
especially for meat and fish.
Yes, especially for that. The herbs are there to also help you digest your food and assimilate the nutrients into the body. So even besides taste, there is a greater health purpose to that too. You know, it helps you absorb the nutrients and
Yes,
helps the
that
food
is true.
digest. You know, so that's something to keep in mind. Just don't salt and pepper your food. You know, put other things. Learn about the other herbs to put on there. And really, turmeric doesn't have a taste, but it's important to add that to your meal. You know, it's good. It's anti-inflammatory, so it's good.
It's really good. Really good.
Hey, who's that with you? Who's that?
You know this is one of my garden partners.
Okay,
Granddaughter. She comes over to help us water.
that's what we need to see
But since
more
we're not doing
of.
watering, she's sitting on my lap.
Yeah.
I know.
Interns.
We have a lot of
Farm
grandkids.
training.
My grandson now knows when he walks across the street with his dad or his mom, he walks straight into the garden and starts, you know, touching the plants and feeling the texture of the leaves. It's amazing. He just loves enjoying the space. And he's only one, so we're grooming him early.
Yeah.
Do it. That's the way to do it. Let's see. I wanted to make sure that we share out that for people, if they are watching this live or coming to it later from Everyone Gets a Garden, that if people are part of that program, they can sign on to our GroupMe app and you can ask questions to Kevin, Charmaine, or Arelis. And we filmed a little thing, which I think we'll put into the GroupMe with Arelis speaking today, that she's able to answer questions in Spanish from the gardeners, because I know that we had several gardeners we gave materials to for whom Spanish is their first language. So we want to make sure that we invite them to ask questions, because I got a thing. I have to actually, I'm going to share this with Kevin and Charmaine. I got an email from somebody today, and it was like, oh, I had to laugh out loud. They were just listing their long list of plagues on their garden, from bugs to groundhogs to squirrels, everything in between. And they were like, please help. So I know that you can feel.
They should have. Why did they type it in the group chat?
I will. Yes, I am going to put that information in. The person that sent it to me, they sounded desperate, so I'm gonna send it on to you guys. They're not part of Everyone Gets a Garden. We're in North Newark, but since, you know, I like to connect people who are new to growing things with more experienced folks, so they can get at least some of your wisdom shared with them.
That'd be great.
Who's the contact for the Fairmont Heights project? No Grow It. Who's the contact?
Me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was like, Sarah.
I have a couple of people that are over in that area. One person I definitely know in that area, and she would be interested. So I'm going to forward you her number, or vice versa, so she can give you a call.
Yeah, absolutely. We are getting close to like giving out all of the materials, but I still have some materials to give out to people.
Okay, great.
And so yes, have her contact me.
Okay, we'll do.
So we're about at time here. Next week, are you guys, Kevin and Charmaine, are you with us next week?
Yes,
Yes,
I am.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
I'm going to be away. I don't know if I'll be on or not, but we'll still be definitely on together. We'll be Know It and Grow It-ing next Tuesday at 7, whether I'm here or not.
I will try to do a short video, so at least if I don't have the Wi-Fi connection, that we could just do a short clip. I will redo the grow bag, and probably we'll do another demo of, Carol actually sewing the grow bag versus the demo. That would be great
That would be
if they
really
could
cool.
actually see.
Yeah, that would be terrific.
Because
All
I know a lot of people went out and buy sewing machines during this time. The big mass.
And Kevin,
Yep.
let's make sure, we'll put into Facebook, make sure we have your contact information for Rabbit Hole Farm so people
Okay.
can stop by for finding out about activities at Rabbit Hole Farm.
There's always something going on Monday to Thursday. Always something.
Excellent. All right, we'll see everybody next Tuesday.
Okay. Peace.